Hi and welcome to Tuesday's video. Let's have a look at what we've got in plan for today. So we're going to start with reading as per usual, 20 minutes of reading before we're moving on to our writing. And I'm going to ask you to put your creativity to the test today. We looked at those die yesterday to see if we could make a story, a narrative. Today I'm going to give you some pictures from the next part of Marty and the Riddle of the Sphinx. And I need you to predict what's going to happen next. So I'll have a look at that in a second. For maths, again, I've linked in some White Rose maths lessons, a year 3 lesson and a year 4 lesson, and some questions. But I've also given you the iPlayer options there, a lesson on iPlayer that you can bring up on your TV, your computer, or on the app. And it's a teacher talk which will guide you through some of the basics for fractions there, if that's something that you would like to do, or if you're struggling with some of the resources that we have available to us. For the afternoon, we're looking at maps again. This time we're looking at some of the contours, the keys and the symbols that help us read maps. I'd like you to design your very own park or garden for people to enjoy using your skills there as well. So these are the next few pictures from Marcy and the Secret of the Sphinx. So I've given you a set of 6 pictures, and what I would like you to write is a prediction to the narrative that's going to occur with these pictures as well. So there are some interesting characters there. We're introduced to 1 or 2 more Egyptian gods and the actual Sphinx, the tomb of the Sphinx, and the snake there that's been mentioned earlier. I can also spot Arthur on one of those pictures as well, or 2 of those pictures in fact, if I look again. Please write a short prediction for each of these images. That will be 3 or 4 sentences for each, explaining what you think is going to happen in the story and how it's going to occur. It could be slightly more as well if you are on a roll there with that. So just try and get that creativity going. Please don't have a look on the internet for the video. Let's get the prediction skills working and get our creativity pushing ourselves to write our own narrative here and what we think could happen. And again, with a prediction, it can't be wrong. Let's just make sure we get that creative writing going. So for maths, I've linked into the White Rose lessons, one from year 3 and one from year 4. The year 3 lesson, making the whole, is such an important aspect of fractions. If year 4 are not aware of this or have forgotten this, got a little bit rusty, please make sure you go back and look at this lesson, because it's a very important lesson for understanding fractions. If you want another step to move forward, there is the year 4 lesson, the tenths as decimals, and how the equivalence between a fraction and a decimal number occurs there as well, and we've done a little bit of that in class, so hopefully that's something that you're familiar with there. Again, I've put a direct link on our website and on our timetable to the video that you will need, and the document, the questions, are on our website for today's activity. However, if you want to go to the White Rose website to find this, you need to scroll down to the bottom and find week 1 in those pink boxes, and it's the second lesson for the year 3 and the second lesson for the year 4. The answers are also there if you need a little bit of help with your working out, or if you want to help finding the solution. Please remember, if you are accessing the answers, you still need to think about how we got to that answer and what it is you need to look at in order to get to that answer. For our topic, continuing with the maps, we're going to look at keys, we're going to look at contours, and we're going to look at symbols with a BBC bite-sized lesson. When you're a bit more familiar with that, what I'd like you to do is to design for me a new park or garden or area for people to enjoy, and I'd like you to give it a key and some symbols to help us access that map. So I'm hoping for lots of open spaces here, lots of enjoyable walks, lots of fun to be had. Might even be some swimming pools, outdoor paddling pools. Anything can go. It can go in this that makes it fun. But remember, it's a park or open space that we're designing here. And I'd like to see some nice symbols and keys to go with it to help us understand what is in that space. And of course, at the end of the day, don't forget that you have a little bit of creative time where you can use a creative bingo sheet, or you can choose an activity of your own.